Hello, folks. The Big Blue here, and hey, I'm done redoing my room. So hey, let's get down to making more stuff. You all know I'm a big Marvel fan, and yes, and I have done Marvel videos. Actually, I'm doing a series of videos about them, called my Marvel series, where I talk about movies and comic books and all that stuff. Yep. And I'm going to tell you now, that series is still going on. I'm still going to make more of them. But every now and then I'm going to do something non-Marvel related. Look forward to DC stuff. Say that much. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time. We're going to talk about Spider-Man. Yes, the average Joe superhero. He's not like Captain America. He's not like Wolverine. He's not like, the X-Men or anything. He's just an average Joe. He has a job. He goes to school. He's a superhero. What's not likable about him? You can relate to him. That's why everyone loves Spider-Man. He has real problems like a real superhero has. He has to balance his life, being a superhero and being a school student, having a job. And you know what? He's the only superhero I know of that can actually balance it out completely well. Sometimes. And every now and then you see him suffering how can I continue on like this? And yeah, that is true. And he's actually the only hero I know that actually, you can truly relate to. The difficulty balancing having, one party life with another, Like me and doing YouTube videos and doing a job and having other stuff. Yeah. So what else is there? So what we're going to be talking about completely? Well, we're going to be talking about almost everything about him. Well, mostly more his franchise. His movies, actors, and all that stuff. So let's start with something that's really, really cool to talk about. His movies. He's the only superhero I know that has many people playing him and have TV shows that is not Batman. We really truly think about it. How many shows, how many movies is there of Spider-Man? Name how many? About, hundreds, thousands? Well, not thousands, but, at least hundreds. Well, not hundreds of movies, but, in that same category, like media. Besides comics. Yeah, to be honest, there is a lot, but you know what? Really, everyone really talks about is the movies. TV shows, they're great and all, but you know what? Everyone likes to talk about the movies. So let's talk about them. Let's talk about the first series I grew up on. The first series with Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. Yep, Crybaby. Yep, we're going to talk about Crybaby. And I'm not going to talk about that. So, what was my reaction to when I first saw it? And to be honest, this was actually my first introduction to Spider-Man. Yeah, seriously. Before I watched this series, I was never really exposed to Spider-Man. This was actually the first thing I watched, first Spider-Man related thing I watched. And how does it hold up? Not very well, since there's been way better actors. And to be honest, at the time, I didn't know about Spider-Man, so really, all I knew about was this movie. That was like the only thing. So after that, I looked up, started watching more Spider-Man related stuff. I watched the old show that came out in the 90s. And 80s, I guess. I don't know. Nostalgic. I credited something about Fox Kids that was on there, so And that show's okay. Though it did get me one thing thinking. Does his wrists don't automatically come out with webs? That's like a gadget? That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that better. And, yeah, Tobey Maguire was, okay. But he had the looks, and he had, everything about be a Peter Parker, but he wasn't really a Peter Parker, in my opinion. And yeah, the dancing scene in Spider-Man 3 didn't help matters either. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. So, what is it about this series that a lot of people like and also a lot of serious people don't like? Well, one thing is not really truly like the source material. I mean, the source material, it was like this. It started out when he was in high school, and then it grew. He grew. You see him grow up being Spider-Man, and everything. You see him go through high school. You see him go through college, and then you see him being a modern man. Until one more day happened, and he went backwards somehow. I don't know how that's possible. And he got his brain taken away by Doc Ock, so hey. Yeah. Yeah, and so, what is it about Tobey Maguire nobody people like? Well, in this one, you don't really get to see him go through high school. You see him go through 1 minute of high school, and then you see him go through college, and then, all that happened. So, really, you couldn't really connect to him being like an average Joe superhero because everything so far has been so easy for him. I want to see him go. I want to see Spider-Man go through high school and go through all that stuff. We'll get to Amazing Spider-Man later, and all that. So, do I really like this series? Well, 1 is okay. 2 is actually really amazing. 3, the acting was okay. Yeah. So, what is one thing I really don't like about the series? One thing I really don't like is his webs. Spider-Man's webs do not really come out of his hand. It's a gadget, not a, organic stuff. It's really, and yeah, his hands automatically do stick and all that. And yes, he's naturally strong, but his hands, it's like it's not organic. It's like scientific. That's how you know he's really smart. He can make his own webs. Yeah. So, what about the next Spider-Man series I liked? Well, the Amazing Spider-Man series, okay. Though, really, is it amazing? A little bit. It's a little bit amazing. But not fully. One thing about the series one thing I did like about him, that Peter Parker was more of a smart, person. And, and all that. But really, Andrew Garfield, he's too much of a pretty boy to be Peter Parker. Peter Parker is a nerd and everything. That's one thing I like Tobey Maguire being Spider-Man. He looks like a nerd. This one, he looks like a pretty boy. And wears glasses, and that's it. So, the one thing I like about this one that the other one didn't do is that they actually get the Spider-Man right. Yeah, he talks during fights. He does all that stuff. The Tobey Maguire, you really didn't see him do that. You just see him fight, and that's it. Yeah. So, what is it about this one I like better than a Tobey Maguire? Well, like I just said, he's funnier and all that. And also, they get actually the source material right. For one movie. Yeah. So, one thing you probably noticed in this series is that it's I don't know how you say it. Seems a little bit more rushed than the other one was. The other one had had moments where you can actually breathe in between movies. Where this one, the first movie happened this year, and the next one happened next year. So really, didn't really get to see all of it. So yeah. So what is another thing I like about this? Well, you get to see the lizard for the first time. That's one thing I wanted to see in the Tobey Maguire. I want to see the lizard. I want to know how they can do the lizard right. And you know what? They didn't get him right. Yeah, Dr. Connor, he's not really a bad guy. He's more like he's been manipulated to be a bad guy. That's the thing. So yeah. And you know what? I like how they get you to be more. I like how they got Uncle Ben to be more relatable. He's in there for half the movie, and then he's gone. You actually get to feel sadness for when he died. Where in the other one, he dead, dude dead, Uncle Ben's dead. So hey, he dead. Okay, great power, great responsibility. There you go. There's the tagline for the entire movie. Yeah. So, what is the one thing I don't like about Spider-Man? In the second movie, yeah, I can see where they are trying to get as many supervillains in this one as possible. I can really see that. Where the main villain is Electro, but there's also a side villain, and then there's another side villain. So, and Electro? Really? I mean, I know he's a threatening villain, but I mean, you could have chose someone different. You can, choose. I mean, you could actually see Doc Ock. Well, even though you kind of already see him in this movie, but not until the end. And or you could have, Goblin. Wait, they already have that. Or you could have Rhino. Wait, they have him for a little bit. And then, or you could have many other villains. I mean, Spider-Man's villain category is humongous. You can have any villain. So why Electro? I guess Jamie Foxx want to be a villain, I guess. I don't know. So you can tell the second movie wasn't really that great. I mean, it's okay at best, but you know what? They could have done better. So, what about the next Spider-Man? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Tom Holland. Well, let's give you a little bit of background on this one. For many years, ever since the MCU started, everybody wanted Spider-Man to be in it. Because, you know what? It cannot be a Marvel, cinematic universe without the web slinger. I mean, he's basically is Marvel Comics. I mean, think about it. Who is probably when you hear the word Marvel, who is the first thing you think about? Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America. Basically, all these people that is on my shirt, but for some reason doesn't have Spider-Man. I don't know. I gotta find one that does. And yeah, he is Marvel. Besides Deadpool, he's basically Marvel R-rated, basically. So hey, we'll get that character another day. So why not have him in the MCU? Well, there is a little problem there. Marvel sold the rights to Sony. Yeah, so if you didn't know this, Marvel was going through financial issues, so they had to sell so they couldn't keep all of their rights to movie rights. So they basically had to sell some. Well, they sold all of Spider-Man, they sold all the X-Men. So hey, two separate countries, which now I think about it, they all now own them. I guess kind of. I know Marvel now owns the X-Men again now. But Spider-Man's still kind of iffy because I think Sony still owns them, I guess. I don't know. And so, yeah. So they sold it to Sony, aka in Columbia Pictures makes the movies. So, yeah. So that's why during the first phase of MCU, you didn't see Spider-Man. Luckily, later on, you get to see him. And they did it right. It showed that people wanted this Spider-Man. You wanted to see him be a wisecracker. You wanted to see him be smart. You want to see actual Peter Parker play right. The quirky dork, smart guy, that's kind of a perv every now and then, I think. So, yeah. So, yeah. So, I love Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Tom Holland plays him right. He does red. And he got to looks down. And you know what? This is one thing I did not like about the other two. They all look grown adults. I mean, yeah, Tom Holland, he's about 20 years old or 19 something. But, my gosh, the dude doesn't look like his balls has dropped. The other guys are like, oh, my balls dropped, now we gotta talk like this. No! When Spider-Man started out, he was about 16 or 15 years old. So, his balls were starting to drop. So, I think Tom Holland, it was a good choice to play Spider-Man. He looks young, and he acts like it. So, he's a good choice in my opinion. But what else do I like about him? Well, there's one thing I like about him. His aunt. I know Aunt May looks like in the old comics like an old lady, and still looked like that until recently we did it, make her look a little younger. But Annie's not a grandmother. Okay? She's supposed to be like in her 30s or 40s or something, you know? So, she's not supposed to be someone's grandmother. I mean, I was with Tony when he first met Peter. You got a hot aunt. Yeah. She does. She's hot. Not some old lady. So I did they did lower her age look back in Amazing Spider-Man, but you know what? Hey, that was Amazing Spider-Man. So next thing we're going to talk about was, hey, do the lights get darker or is it just my phone? Just my phone. Okay. We're going to take a break for a moment, mostly because my phone needs to charge up for a moment. So when we come back, we're going to talk about something else. We're going to talk about Spider-Man's comics. Where sadly the only comics I've read is actually Ultimate Spider-Man and a little bit of the new stuff. So, really we're not going to talk about that. Next we're going to talk about video games. Oh yeah. So, take a break for a moment. Alright folks, back from the break, and we changed shots. I'm testing some stuff, okay? So, let's talk about the comic books. Well, this is the same thing the Marvel Spider-Man comics is the same thing I kind of feel with the Marvel comics in general. They're good. I mean, one of my favorite series right now is All New Wolverine. It's been pretty good. And really, the only Spider-Man comics I really read is from the Ultimate series and a little bit from the new. And also, I have read the 9/11 issue, which was really good. I recommend you go out there and try to find it and get it and read it. It's really good. Kind of after you uplift you in a time of need. Which that was kind of what that comic was going for. But so, what do I feel about the comics? Well, they're good stories. They got the one with when Stacy died, the one where Craven's last hunt and everything, and the one where Spider-Man, is trying to deal with radioactive killing Mary Jane in a weird way. Look up Death's Battle for that one. Yeah, and we're not going to mention the Clone Saga. We're not going to mention that. No, we're not. And the infamous One More Day. If you want to see a review of that, go watch Lankara's version of that. Lankara's. We're never going to talk about it. I'm never going to read it. So, what did I feel about it? Well, there's so many series and so many stories that it's really, there's a lot to read. So you get a lot to catch up with. And I know Marvel Comics right now Marvel Comics do put like a little catch up thing, but there's really too much. This is what I think Marvel Comics needs to do. I think they need, they have the main series, and everything. But they did have the Ultimate series, which was supposed to be like a reintroductory into everything. I like them trying to do a reintroductory into this. I like them to reintroduce Spider-Man. I know they did it with Miles Morales, for younger readers, to get that, and that blew up, and that's really good. I like that series. But really, I want them to reintroduce Peter Parker and put him in more in a modern world. I know that they did with a little miniseries called Spidey, and I read that and I liked it. I'm thinking they need to do this. Actually, they need to do this. I know we all know the origin story, so they really don't really need to re-say that. They could just say, bit by a spider, radioactive, spider powers now. That's all they need to say in the beginning. And just put him on his first big event, and keep him, put him back in high school and put him in a more modern world. I know they did it with Spidey, but I want them to really do that in an actual thing. That's kind of what I want them to do with all the characters. Reintroduce them, remake them. I know remakes is kind of not a really big thing nowadays since they're all over the place. But really, this is something I think they really should try out and do. Or redo it since they already did that with the Ultimate series. And they destroyed that series and universe and everything. But really, they can redo it. And do this, maybe. Redo the genders if you want to. I mean, they did that with Thor. Well, really, that wasn't really Thor. But actually make Thor a girl, because that would probably make more sense, because the long, lustrous hair, and the girly almost attitude kind of goes with it. Do that if you want. There's so many possibilities in this. And you know what? Hey, they're kind of already doing that since they, kind of already doing that with some things. I mean, the Spider-Gwen series, it's been pretty big and everything, But really, I really think they need to redo the entire Marvel series. There's so many stories in this, and really, it's kind of hard to get new readers into that. Since really there's a lot of stuff to catch up with. I mean, when they brought, Peter Parker back from, being Doc Ock and everything, controlling his brain, it was kind of hard for me to catch up and everything. I kind of just stopped reading it. But when I saw that they're going to bring in a new Wolverine, I'm thinking, that might be good. But since it's X-23, a character I already knew and liked, I'm thinking, hey, this might be good. And it is. And she's calling herself Wolverine, and I like that. Now, I'm not saying I don't, like Spider-Man comics. I do. I'm trying right now, to get more into them. I'm actually going out and trying to find some of the old stories, get me caught up a little bit. And really, that's not really a bad idea. Going out, try to find stories and read them, and try to read the more stuff, since I kind of, looking at those stuff and doing this. Kind of. One more day kind of screw everything up, okay? So, yeah. So now let's talk about video games. There's tons of them. I'm only going to talk about 3. The one I played, Friends and Foes, and Spider-Man 2, and the new one that's coming out soon. So let's start with Spider-Man Friends and Foes. This is really my second Spider-Man game I've played. And I played it on my DS, and it was, pretty okay. And it was pretty fun. I kind of like playing as villains, and, saw that. And really, the story was okay at best. And I played it on my DS, and so they kind of downgraded it a little bit. So, it was cool beat 'em up kind of style. It was pretty cool. I recommend it. I'm going to talk about Spider-Man video game 2. This is the one a lot of people like, because it was really good. Some moments. It was pretty fun. Web slinging was fluid and all that. I recommend go play it. Find it and play it. But now let's talk about the new one that's coming out. This one's gonna be the main Spider-Man game everyone's gonna be talking about. I can see that now. Sorry. Couldn't catch my breath for a moment. Because so happy, I'm so excited about this. This was like a Spider-Man game. A game that we all wanted. So, and it's really, but it's kind of different as the other ones. Where all the other games, it was kind of like a linear path. Spider-Man 2 is kind of, this is going to be a major open world the size of Manhattan, up to New York. And you know what? I am looking forward to it. Because of this. One thing, it takes place where Spider-Man's like 20 years old. He graduated high school, and I think he's going to college. I don't know yet. So, he's already been Spider-Man for about 6 years already. So, he's kind of knows experience, but he's still learning. And you kind of see him balance everything out. And you don't just play as Peter Parker. You can play as Mary Jane. And hopefully they might do this. Might play as Miles Morales. So, is it going to be good? I don't know. Is it going to be fun? Oh yeah, it's going to be fun though. This is one of my rules about video games. If it's fun, it's a good game. But if it's not fun, it's alright. It's kind of like Devil May Cry DMC, the remake that made. The gameplay was fun, story was not. Dante is not an emo. He is not. Okay? Got that? So, what is it about this one that everyone kind of like? Well, really, it's the first Spider-Man game that is not made for a movie. Think about it. The last couple of Spider-Man games, besides some of them, was made for the movies that are coming out. And, I mean, Amazing Spider-Man, I never played it, but I heard it was really good. So, sorry about the thing, the camera's kind of plugged in the wall right now. So, and it's gonna be a really, Spidey game. And it's gonna be something nobody really have seen for a while. So, it's kind of gonna be a big thing. Yeah. I'm excited for it. I already pre-ordered it, so I'm gonna get it next week. Yeah, comes out next week. So, with that being said, what is truly the best Spider-Man of all time? Really? It's Spider-Man. Spider-Man, folks. Doesn't matter who he is, what he is, Spider-Man will always be great. I don't care if Spider-Man is Miles Morales, Peter Parker, Ben Reilly, or thousands of clones. That is... the Clone Saga was so stupid. Yeah. And yeah, his character has changed over the years. He has been serious, he has been dorky, he has been whatever they were trying to do with him in Spider-Man 3. Yeah. I know his influence of Venom, but hey. That's something. And really, to me, Spider-Man has always been a relatable character. Ever since I was a little kid, I related to him. Because really, it was hard for me to balance everything that was going on in my life. Yeah. He was that's why I liked him so much. Now, why do I got a giant Superman character poster up and not Spider-Man? One reason why I liked this for a while, Superman was my favorite superhero of all time. Only because he was cool looking and a lot of action. Yeah, he's just cool. He's Superman. Come on now. But I like Spider-Man because I can relate to him. Okay? He's not like Superman who can, easily balance things out because, one thing, he's Superman and he always wins. But for Spider-Man, he can balance things out, but he can also lose. He's an actual character. Not like Superman is sometimes. I still like Superman. He will always be my favorite. But Spider-Man is my other favorite. They're kind of my rivals between those two. Like, I can't decide which two I like better. And yes, Batman's awesome too. So, what do I think of Spider-Man's movies? Yeah, I mean, they're all great. Ish. Tom McGuire one was weird. Andrew Garfield was okay. Tom Holland's is my new favorite. I mean, I like him. He's cool. He's doing good. Even though there's only been one full movie, but he's been in other ones, he's pretty cool. He got Spider-Man right. But did he have to go to dust so early? I know they already announced that he's gonna get another movie, but come on. He was the kid. Yeah. Oh well. That's it for the Let's Talk, folks. So, what's going to be my next big thing I'm going to do? Well, I have been pushing off one thing for a while. I'm going to talk about a series that I like a lot that you can only watch online. And that would be RWBY Volume 1. Expect that tomorrow. Peace out, everybody. See y'all next time on The Big Blue Show. New and approved. Bye. Hello. Why are you still here? Oh, you might be waiting for me to tell you to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button to be notified about when my next video up. Not gonna do that now. Well, I am gonna tell you this. Check out some of my other videos. They're good. And also, look at my other ones. Just hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button. Like some of my other videos and stuff. So. Yeah. Also, support Coffin Comics. They have some really good stuff. I'm not going to show you I'm not showing you the cover of this Lady Death right now because it's kind of graphic and stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, go to coffincomics.com. Buy some Lady Death stuff if you want. Check my reviews of that stuff because, just to be honest, really good. So, yeah. So, see y'all later. Bye.